Hi guys. So as of today, it has officially been 6 months from my surgery to the day. And I wanted to give you guys an update on how things have been going, how recovery's been, and all that. So in January, I had a hysterectomy, and all that was removed was my uterus, my cervix, both my fallopian tubes, and my left ovary. The only thing that was left behind was my right ovary. If you've seen some of my previous videos, I've documented some of the recovery, but it's been a while since my last update, so here we are. So first and foremost, let's talk about the biggest issue I had that I was documenting, and that was my joint. A recap for those of you who haven't seen any of my videos, after my hysterectomy, I started having some crazy side effects where basically my joints felt like they were locked up. I felt like inside my body was stone. I could not close my hands all the way. My feet were swelling. I could barely bend my knees. Like, my body was just so stiff and it was very hard for me to move. It was awful. Nothing was relieving it. I was trying everything you can think of and nothing was working. We weren't getting any answers. I was going to doctors left and right and nobody could figure out what was wrong. Well, I'm happy to say the problem is gone. We still don't know what caused it, where it came from, why it happened, and we also don't know why it left. My doctor even was like, "You've stumped me. I can't figure out what's wrong with you." They ran so many tests on me. Everything came back crystal clear. Like, absolutely nothing showed any signs of what it could be. The only thing I could think of that might have stopped it, because I did notice an improvement after this, was when I started going back to the gym. Which is weird because I was walking the whole time. Like, I was trying to at least stay active with walking, and even just that would often make my feet swell up. So I actually didn't try to work out too much. But yeah, once I started like going back to the gym, the problem was gone within a few days. And I don't know what it was. It was really crazy, but I am happy it's gone. And I will say it's really funny because if anybody's seen my Casadega videos, I go to Casadega once a year to get a psychic reading. And in my last reading, she told me I was going to have a health problem that nobody could explain and then it would go away in 6 months. And here I am, 6 months out. Oh, man. So yeah, luckily the joint issue has gone away. My feet swelling has pretty much gone away. Every now and then I'll feel like a little stiff, but if I just go to the gym, I feel better. So I don't know what the deal was. I don't know if it was my ovary needing to wake up more. I don't know if it was just my body being so stiff from laying down for so long, but whatever the problem was, it's gone now. I was losing my mind. It was terrible, but it's gone. Thank God that problem is gone. I was afraid I wasn't going to be able to do hair anymore because my hands weren't working, but I am now back doing hair, all that jazz. I can use my hands again, so that's great. Now let's talk about the actual reasons I got the hysterectomy. So there were 2 reasons for my surgery. One was endometriosis and one was PMDD. So I had excision as well as a hysterectomy, but the endometriosis ended up mostly being on my uterus, and there wasn't much anyway, so that was kind of a minimal part of the surgery. But let's talk about that first. So with the endometriosis, I was in a lot of pain. So before my period would start, I would have a lot of trouble with bowel movements. Like, bowel movements were so painful. Oh my God. That's pretty much how I figured out that I have endometriosis, is realizing that that's a very common symptom. So I was having super painful bowel movements and I was just in a lot of pain. I would also, before my period, I would get nauseous. My stomach would get nauseous. It was like my digestive system was mad and would act up. And then once the period started, it was just pain, just hardcore pain. So now that I have had the surgery, how do I feel about pain? I have not had any pain like that since the surgery, and it's amazing. Like, in the beginning, I would sometimes get like light cramping down there, but I don't even really get that anymore. The only pain I really feel now is tenderness in my breast, but that is nothing compared to the pain I would feel before. I don't really get bloated anymore. I only get bloated if I like eat like crap. So I can't blame my bloating on my period anymore. I have to blame it on my crappy choices in food. And not having a period is so awesome. Like, seriously, I do not miss having a period at all. Like, at all. I hated my periods. So the endometriosis part seems to be pretty good for now. Now, a hysterectomy is not the cure for endometriosis. Endometriosis can thrive on its own and grow back. So even if you take everything out, it can still come back. So I'm gonna have to keep an eye out on that. But as for now, I am not in any pain. All of that is just gone now, and it's so great. Now let's talk about the PMDD part of the surgery. So I will say I'm still only 6 months out. I feel like I can't properly say say if I think the surgery helped with my PMDD or not until I'm at least a year out, because from what I've seen from other people say, it can take like up to a year for your body to fully adjust. And, you know, things are just now starting to settle. Like, I'm just now stopping having all those side effects I had before. So I don't want to give like a definite answer of, yes, this worked. I can just tell you if it's worked so far. And the answer would be yes. I do feel a lot better. Typically for PMDD, you know, they want to take out both ovaries, but I could not get a doctor to agree to that. So we just did one for now. If the remaining one starts causing problems later down the road, my doctor said she would take it out. But for now, they just want to see how the one goes, and that way I don't have to be on hormone therapy replacement or any of that. And so far, I do feel a lot better. Anytime I've had like an episode or whatever, it was caused by something that legitimately would upset anybody. So I don't even think I could call it an episode. It's just me being upset because something bad happened. Basically, anytime I've gotten upset since the surgery, there was like a reason for it. Whereas before the surgery, I could be having the greatest day ever, and I would just go from happy to miserable and like that. And I haven't had that really recently. I do have sometimes where my mood kind of goes down a little bit, but it's not like what it was before. I haven't had any suicidal thoughts really. When I first had the surgery, things were a little with that, but I was still adjusting. And since then, I haven't had those thoughts. My anxiety is here to stay, which I knew that before going into the surgery, because I've had anxiety pretty much from the moment I was born. I had anxiety before I even started my period, so I knew that anxiety was going to exist on its own regardless of what, you know, the PMDD. But the depression has been pretty good. I don't know if I'd say I'm happy. That seems like a bit of a stretch, but I'm not miserable, if that makes sense. And I'm not in agony mentally. I'm just kind of like, okay, like just going with the flow. I do notice, however, that the anxiety seems to be, basically, I feel like since I don't have the depression there anymore, the anxiety has more room to grow. There's more headspace for it now. So I feel like the anxiety can sometimes, well, I don't even want to say that, because my anxiety was really bad during PMDD and I would have panic attacks, and I haven't really had a panic attack since. But I guess I just focus on the anxiety more is what I'm trying to say now, because there's not other things going on in my brain. So I just notice the anxiety more. But yeah, I haven't really had too many, like, I don't know, it's hard to explain. And it's weird because it's a different brain than I'm used to having. You know what I mean? Sometimes I don't know if the feelings that I'm feeling are PMDD coming back, because, you know, with only one ovary, PMDD tends to come back. So sometimes when I get upset, I don't know if it's PMDD coming back or if it's me like legitimately being upset because something happened. Because I remember before the surgery, my therapist would tell me, like, you're still going to have feelings after the surgery, and that's normal. That's human. And I think because I felt such intense feelings for so long, anytime I feel anything, I think, oh God, this is the PMDD, when it's really just normal. You know what I mean? So sometimes when I start to feel a certain way, I think, oh God, is this the PMDD? But then I take a step back and look and see what is causing this. And it's usually a reason that makes sense. So like sometimes if I'm tired, I get upset or whatever. You know how people get hangry? I don't get hangry. I get like tired angry. Tangry. So when I'm tired, I can't. Like there's something about being tired that just really messes with me. Or if I get bad news, I get upset. But that's like legitimate. So that's been weird, you know, realizing that I'm getting upset for normal reasons and recognizing that that's normal, because I'm just so used to being extreme. So I feel like even when I'm upset, I'm extreme, even though I'm not. That made no sense. Basically, I am so used to having mental breakdowns and things exploding and all that, that any type of negative feelings feels like it's going down that path, even if it doesn't. Even if, you know, I just cry it out and then I'm fine a couple minutes later, and even if it had a legitimate reason for me to be upset. But my mom says she's noticed a big improvement in my mood. I personally, this is just a theory. I'm not a doctor, I'm not a scientist, this is just a theory. I personally think that my endometriosis and the PMDD kind of fed off each other and just created all kinds of craziness in my life. And I also think that the physical pain of endometriosis made my mental pain of PMDD worse, because it was like there's no relief anywhere. You're in physical pain and mental pain. And so it just really felt like there was no way out, because even if I could like control my emotions, which I couldn't, but even if, let's say, I could, I still had the physical pain, which I couldn't control. So I think that made my PMDD worse, because it just felt like there was nothing I could do and my body was out to get me, whether it make me feel depressed and suicidal, or it just makes me be in a lot of pain. So I do think that my endometriosis and physical pain contributed to the PMDD. And I also think that's a reason that my PMDD is better now, because I am not in physical pain anymore, if that makes sense. And I also think just getting the surgery in general is like, okay, decent things can happen, because, beforehand it was just, being told no, 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 and all of that, and not being able to get the surgery. It just felt like there was no way out. And so now that it's like I've come over this hurdle and seen that like there can be a way out, I think that's helped a lot as well. So the PMDD could come back. We have to keep an eye on it. Just like the endometriosis could come back. So I just have to keep an eye on it. But so far, 6 months out, it's been great, and I don't regret the surgery at all. I did have that scare with my joints, and that really terrified me, but that's gone now. And now I'm not in pain anymore, and I have like more time to do things. I'm still tired a lot. I was hoping like the surgery would take away a lot of my fatigue, but I still am tired a lot. But at least I'm not like weighed down with pain. It's just fatigue, but I don't regret the surgery. So far it's been great. Obviously I'm gonna have to keep an eye on things, and if the PMDD comes back, then we'll have to take my second ovary out, but I'm kind of hoping that doesn't have to happen and that things are settled, a little more settled now, but we'll see. But I just want to give you guys a 6 months update. Like I said, I don't regret it so far. Even when I was having all those issues with my hands, I still didn't regret it, because the pain that I was in before surgery was really just, you can't even imagine it. I can't even describe it. It was just unbearable. So anything was better than that pain, and that pain is gone for now, hopefully forever. But we will have to see. And I'm getting back to normal life. I'm back to work now. I'm trying to lose the weight that I gained from the medication I was on. But yeah, I feel a lot better now. Like, it's only been 6 months and I'm already getting used to not having a period. Like, I thought it would be weird at first to not have a period, but I've adjusted so quickly. Like, one thing that was weird was like realizing I don't need to buy any more tampons or pads. Like, after I had the surgery, I was paranoid like my period would somehow come back, so I held on to some stuff. But after like a couple months went by, I was like, okay, I'm not bleeding out of this anymore. So real quick, let's talk about like how things feel down there, if I feel any different or whatever. Like, do I notice that something's gone? Not really, I feel the same. Everything down there still works the same. There's nothing too crazy going on. Everything's healed. Like, I don't feel like there's an empty hole inside of me. Like, everything's come together and it just feels great. Like, some people will ask me like, oh, do you feel different down there? Like, now that you've had the surgery? And I'm like, obviously there's no more pain and all of that. But as terms of like, did my vagina change or any of that? No. That's all still the same. So yeah, if you guys have any questions, leave them below. I just wanted to give an update. Like, things are really on the mend, and that's really nice, because I went through so much pain and so many scary times and so many difficult things with all of this. And so to finally have it behind me, I genuinely felt like my life was stuck before the surgery and that I could not move ahead in life until I got the surgery. So now I have the surgery. Now I can put it behind me. It's a weight off my shoulders and I can focus on other things. Obviously, I still have to be aware because both my conditions can come back. I still have them both. They're both still there. They're not gone. They can always start up trouble again. They can always start showing symptoms again. But for now, things feel great. I don't regret the surgery. So yeah, that has been my recovery so far. It was a very rough last 6 months. Actually, I want to say the last month is where things got pretty good. So the last 5 months or so was terrible. And then this last month, things have just been getting better and better. And I feel pretty good. So yeah, I'm trying to get back into working out. That's been a pain. Trying to work out after laying in bed for 3 months. My God, it's terrible. And just trying to get back into the swing of life. But thank you guys for watching. Bye. Did you come to say hello? Did somebody come to say hello with her snaggle tooth? I think she did. She had surgery on her teeth and now her dental cleaning, and they took out teeth, and now her tooth gets stuck on that a lot. It's been there. You just keep interrupting. My mom went out of town, and it's just me and her, so she's been home alone all day, so that's why she wants attention. You are a sweet girl.